Hey YouTubers, welcome back to another journaling video. Today I'm going to be discussing methods that you can use to track various things that you've paid for, specifically when we're talking about, say, a payment that you've made over the phone. So I'm just going to open this columnar book, and it is a Collins 18. So this means that it has, sorry about the shakiness of the video, I really need to get a better camera set up for this. So yeah, I apologize. I'm trying to manage the camera with one hand while at the same time I'm kind of trying to show you guys what's going on. So here we see that I've decided to use the local electric company as an example. And yeah, this is going to date the video for the year 2020. I like using these to track all kinds of information, as you can see here. And this keeps it really nice and simple, because when I'm on the phone, I don't know about you guys, but I like everything to be just right there in plain view in front of me, no nonsense. You know, it's very easy and straightforward. All the details that I need to talk to a representative is there. So I developed this system some years ago so that I would have a really good solid way of tracking all this, and it's come in handy over the years, because when a representative wanted information from me, I had that right here in front of me. So you can see here just, you know, the name of the electric company for the year that it's for, and over here I've got the year again. So that way, you know, it's easy to see that this page is also part of this. And you might find this a little bit odd at first. There's just the year and then this random thing, and then the rest of the page is empty, whereas the other page was quite full. Okay. This is because I like to use this half of the 18 columns for my notes on who I've spoken to and what about, because let's say something hasn't gone quite right, or the company, God forbid, this has happened before, it is unfortunate, but the company I'm doing business with has lost a payment, and so the contact details, oh sorry guys, the contact details for who I spoke to will be here, and the date I spoke to them, what I talked to them about, that kind of thing. So I try to reserve this space for that. But up here, there's a different phone number for payments and general problems, and that phone number belongs here. Now, obviously, this is a fake phone number, but that will always be at the top of the notes page. And over here, back on this first half, we'll see a different phone number. This is the phone number that is for talking to actual human beings. I always save those phone numbers because I prefer to talk to people when there's something going wrong. It's just humans better understand humans than technology. I'm sorry, that's my opinion. Okay, I prefer to talk to people. And account balance, I can get that through this same phone number if I want to. So I've got my two phone numbers that I most frequently use listed right there at the top, and what they're for. So I'll go into more description as to what all this is about. So obviously the amount due is going to be this column, but details, and then what? Receipt number? What is all this about? Okay, so when you ring someone up or when you try to pay for something online, there's all this information and red tape that you have to go through to identify who you are, so that way the security measures have been met to try to make sure that nobody's mucking around with your business, and trying to say that, you know, payments have or have not been made without your permission. So or that changes maybe need to be made that shouldn't be. So, for example, the electric company, somebody comes in claiming to be you, and then your electricity is cut off. That would be most unfortunate. So they've put a lot of this information in place to protect the customers, and fair enough, I do appreciate that. So I'll put things in here like the account number, obviously another false number, and the date of birth. Wow, what a date to be born. And the reason why I go ahead and write this out is because a lot of times when you're on the phone, depending on your accent, where you're from, where you're calling to, who you're making the payment to, that kind of thing, the system that recognizes your voice may not recognize your exact accent. So, for example, in Australia, pronouncing the first month of the year sounds a lot different from how I would pronounce it, and therefore it is unrecognizable. So when I try to put in my date of birth, a lot of times it doesn't get it right. So yeah, I always have to punch it in with the number pad. So because of the odd way they want it keyed into the number pad, I make sure that I write that down so I have no doubt how that's supposed to go. Some places will require a password, so excuse me, it's always important to write down whatever that password is. And other places will have a secret question that you have to answer. So just, again, write down that that there is a secret question, and then write down whatever that answer is. Then underneath that, because that's just your details to try to get in and access the account so you can fill out this information and take care of your account. What I do below that, because I've got all this other space that I can use, I just go ahead and put in the receipt number. And of course I title that column. Then I skip a line, and then I start actually filling out things like the amount due. So the amount due will not happen until this line here. And then the receipt number, which is usually the longest digit, which is usually the longest number of digits, will go here. And then obviously amount paid. Okay, well, we know what that's going to be. And I have a column for the remaining balance. So I've rang them up, and it's like, I don't know, the 1st of January, and they say that I owe $250 for the last quarter. Okay, so I write $250 here, and then I skip this because I don't have a receipt number yet, and however much it is I'm going to pay, we'll say I pay $100. And then the remaining balance, obviously, if the amount due was $250 and I've paid $100, that's going to be $150 left here. So I'm going to fill that in there. Then the date I've made the payment, so day, month. I don't worry about the year because the year is already listed at the top there. So then, obviously, I'm not going to have anything in credit, so I might just put a slash through that, or I might put a 0. And these here are for meter readings. So I've written these in a different color, so that way I can easily identify when I roll my fingers down what those are and where those bits of information belong. And here we have 2 different meters for 2 different types of readings. So one meter has one number and the other meter has a slightly different number. And I have those numbers listed so that way when they ask for, say, meter number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I have what was actually on that meter downstairs, because I do a lot of self-reads, and that works for the electric company that I do business with, because they're quite willing to take reads from individuals. And then this one, if they ask for 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, obviously I'm going to have that number that I read from the meter placed here. And sure, I have all these different lines, but I really only have to give them information once every quarter, but it's divided into the quarters. So you can see, there they are, where approximately they will land, because they're usually the same time pretty much every year within about probably 7 days of when they happened the previous year. So they're fairly predictable, which is good. And that's really important because for this company, they won't take reads, personal readings anyway, from too far away from the date that the meter reader is supposed to come along. So obviously I'm going to want to be as precise with that as possible. So the date that I took the reading, and that will be the same date that I ring them and they take the details from me, will go here. So let's say in this example there's so much information in the detail column that the receipt number lands way down here, and I still have December yet to list. Well, that's okay, because I've still got all of this other section that I can put the same information in. So all of the information that was originally in this half, I can just slide it on over. So like this would then become the amount due. These two together would become the details and receipt number. And I probably won't even relist the details. I'll probably just do receipt number for these two columns. And then this will be amount paid, remaining balance, the date I made that payment, if I have any in credit, the reading date, and then the two different meters, and that gets me through the whole year. And this has worked for many years now, and I just wanted to share this idea with you guys, so maybe you could have a better means of tracking all this information for yourself as well. Once again, I hope you guys have enjoyed this, and I hope it's been useful. I kind of wanted this to be a journal along with me video, but unfortunately I was not able to do it in that style because, as I say, I'm having to hold on to the camera. So hopefully I'll have a better system in place next time. So thank you guys. Have a great day and stay in touch, because there will be more videos like this, and hopefully some journal with me videos as well. Cheers.